Hello, this one doesn't feel like enough to be a real video, so you're gonna get a Friday video today. We're talking about Jsonnet, or maybe it's Jsonnet, I don't know. I think it's actually Jsonnet because their file extension is also libsonnet, which makes it seem like, anyway. This is a silly configuration language that is meant to be deterministic and not have arbitrary execution, but enough like functions and other stuff to be, I don't know, sort of useful. And I ran into a weird quirk with it today that makes sense if you read the reference, but I think doesn't really make sense otherwise. And in order to explain that, fortunately they have a little executor thing here, although, yeah, we can just use this thing directly. It's basically a JSON language that you can put some amount of computation in. So one of the basic things in this language is, well, you don't even need to quote things. You can merge maps together. That's kind of the biggest thing. Like this plus operator is used all over the place if you write JSONet stuff, but the big deal is you can merge stuff. And if you overwrite a key, it overwrites a key. The weird quirk that I ran into today is there is sort of a public-private visibility for keys in JSONet objects. And for instance, if you double the colon here, this turns this into a hidden field. And you can also combine hidden fields with non-hidden fields. So yeah, this, this will come through, but by default, the hidden fields will not. Now, interestingly enough, you can combine a JSON object with another JSON object where it has the same key, but it is either hidden or not. This is actually the behavior that I was surprised by, which is what looks like a hidden key being combined with a non-hidden key. My expectation was that the non-hidden key would come through, but I was wrong. And in fact, if you do this in the other direction, so if you set a non-hidden key and then override it with a hidden key, you actually get the same result, which is peculiar to me. But it turns out this is specified in the specifications, and this is intentional. But what actually is at play here is that a single colon doesn't mean public. It means default visibility. And so the default visibility, if you just have something by itself, the default visibility, which sounds absurd, is public. And so by default, you're just going to get public. However, if you are inheriting an object or overwriting an object, this single colon means default visibility being inherit the visibility, or if we're not inheriting from anything, then use public. So in this case, it actually still means that we're using private visibility here. Now, this implicit behavior was very confusing. It also changed in a minor version of Go JSONet, which is a reimplementation of the C sources, and so that's what I was running into. But this behavior just seems really weird to me. However, it is actually specified in the language reference, and there's actually a third secret thing, which is triple colon. Triple colon is forced public, whereas, or I guess forced visible. They use the term visibility when they're talking about keys here. Triple colon is forced visible, whereas double colon is forced invisible. I don't think I would have designed the language this way. I think I probably would have just, you save one character to inherit a visibility. It seems kind of weird to me, but anyway. You might also ask, like, what's the point of having invisible keys? I believe you can still access them with dotted. So if you're building a library of functions, you can annotate your object with things that won't end up in the resulting JSON output, but you can still tack along objects and data and other stuff that you might need for intermediate computation. And so that's, I guess, the selling point of having invisible keys or not visible keys. And yeah, this is actually specified here. So the visibility section of their docs talks about the default visible unless parents field with the same name is hidden. I wouldn't have designed it this way, but it is what it is. Yeah, anyway. The other thing that's really annoying about this language, this is completely unrelated to this visibility thing. This shit sucks to debug. It is It is so painful when things don't work, because basically well, at least the implementation that I work with, every part of it is lazily evaluated. And so it's only when you finally serialize the value at the end that it actually runs all of the like intermediate function calls. And there's no debugger as far as I can tell. And I haven't found a good way to put like normal print statement debugging in there either. What I've been resorting to is assert false and then throwing the thing that I'm looking at there. It's, you know, crash driven development. But it is brutal to debug, especially for a language that's been around for over 10 years at this point. So anyway, that's Jsonnet. That's my little gripe about visibility and the, in my opinion, surprising result of this weird double colon inheritance stuff. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. See you in the next one.